Wala yung screen ko. Thankfully, they've given their time to understand more gender and sexuality, which is very essential in their upcoming BL series. So let's get to know the cast right now. Let's start off with Bench Ortiz.
Hi everyone, I'm Bench Ortiz. I'll be playing Paul here in Got Chu Fam, the series. Hi, Yan.
Hello, good afternoon. Who wants to go next? John?
Oh, yeah. Hello. My name is John. I'll be playing Carlo in Got Chu Fam. So, yeah.
Okay, how about Nico? Can you share more
Hi,
information about you?
Hello po. Hi, I'm Miko. I will be playing King here in the Got Chu Fam, the series.
Okay, hi, nice to meet you. Next would be Reg.
Hello po, good afternoon. I'm Reg Berosil po, and I will be portraying the character of Spencer po sa Got Chu Fam the series.
Nice, nice. Next naman natin si Ollie.
Hi everyone, it's me Oli Torres and I'll be playing the role of Kylie.
Ganda. And last but not the least, Gory.
Thank you for having us po, Miss Yan Yan. I'm Ree Villanueva and I'm the writer and director of the Got Chu Fam, the series.
Yay!
Okay, thank you.
So, this afternoon, pag-usapan natin ang SOGIE or ang gender sexuality. So this will be sit back and relax. So this will be an informal and chill lang na usapin about gender and sexuality. Ready na ba kayo lahat?
Yes,
Yes.
po, I got the pen.
Yes po.
Ready.
Okay, let's push with the discussion na ngayon. Okay. So SOGIESC, before we dive to the topic natin ngayon, I want to get to know and also yung understanding nyo towards SOGIESC. So, anong una pumapasok sa isip nyo when you hear these words? Lesbian. Anong una pumapasok sa isip nyo pag narinig nyo yung word na lesbian? Siguro isa-isa tayo. In my screen, first would be Bench. How would you define lesbian?
For me, in my point of view, tanggalin natin yung idea ko when it comes to lesbian talaga. Siguro yung unang view ko na lang para mas okay. Siguro nung una kong narinig yung salitang lesbian, nung wala pa akong idea, babae nagkakagusto sa babae.
Okay.
Yun ang view ko nung doon. So para at least mas ano siya.
Okay, next. Nico, ikaw?
Yun po. Female na may sexual attraction between another male po.
Nice. How about you, Reg?
Same lang din po na babae na may gusto sa or na-attract sa isang babae pa, ganun po.
Okay. Ollie?
Same rin po. Yun, na-attract din sa same sex niya. And kwento ko na lang before. Kasi before, ang akala ko kasi, ang lesbian is yung boyish, yung cat, ganon, na nagpe-pretend to be a man. Ganon.
Thank you, Ollie. How about you, Ree?
Same lang din po, but siguro mas lumawak as time goes on po. Yung simple lang na word na lesbian, sa akin akala ko nagkakagusto lang sa same gender, kunya babae. Kakagusto sa isang babae. Ngayon mas malawak na po siya as I meet other people na iba't iba din yung perspective nila with the word of lesbian.
Okay. Last would be John.
Same lang din po. Yung girl nagkakagusto sa kapwa niya girl. So, yun po.
Okay.
Lesbian for me.
Thank you. Next word would be gay. How do you define gay? So same, sequence tayo ng...
Okay. So, again, para kung yung unang-unang pagkakaintindi ko sa gay. So, pag gay ka, malambot ka, tapos nakakagusto ka sa lalaki, tapos yung lalaking or mga ganong aspeto. Yun yung una kong pagkakaintindi pag sinabing gay.
Okay. How about you, Ollie? How do you define gay?
For me, gay is, nung before, yung crossdresser or yung nagugupit dun sa parlor, yun yung gay for me. And tapos, natutunan ko na, ay, iba-iba pala yung varieties ng pagiging gay. Ayun po.
Ito, next tayo, how about bisexual? How do you define bisexual, Reg?
I think, isang person siya, it's either female or male, na open sila when it comes to, na-attract sila both in male and female, characteristics po.
Okay, cool. Nico? Thank you, Reg.
Same lang po din. It's an individual that is attracted sa both female and male na po.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last word would be transgender. How about you, John? Anong unang pumapasok sa isip mo pag narinig mo yung word na trans?
Naisip ko na sila yung gay, tapos girl na yung itsura, tapos nagko-cross-dress na. Ganun po.
Okay. Ollie? Yeah, go.
For me, ang transgender po kasi, sila po yung nararamdaman nila is babae. Simula po nung noon hanggang nagde-develop. Kaya sila minsan nag-hormonals or minsan naman is kung ano yung identity nila sa sarili nila. Kumbaga babae.
Okay. Last would be Ree.
I think my idea of transsexual po or trans will be a man transitioning to be a woman po.
Okay. And vice versa. Sige, last question before tayo mag-push into the discussion. For you, in your own words, why do you think that very important to know gender and sexuality, especially when you're doing this BL series? Let's start with Bench.
Okay, so for me, napaka-importante niya kasi for me kasi sa akin yung BL series is one of the platform for us to discuss the issues and information about the LGBT community. So para sa akin, kung mag-accept ka ng role for a BL series, you have to know inch of what is all about in the LGBT community for you to act to portray the right thing dun sa role na yon, kasi hindi ka lang nagpo-portray sa role na yon you inform the people, you educate the people, kaya for me importante siya. Ayan.
Thank you, Bench. How about others? Any other insights?
For me, I think kailangan matutunan yung SOGIE kasi para hindi kami makapag-cross ng line when it comes sa different sexuality. So, ayun. Kasi alam ko na more than may iba-ibang classification po when it comes sa sexuality po. So, baka po magkamali kami or hindi namin sinasadyang matapakan yung ganitong bagay, ganyan. So, para lang maging safe po lahat at mas ma-portray namin ng maayos.
Totoo yan na very important na at least maging sensitive tayo na hindi tayo makapag-discriminate ng other gender, but also not only by ayun. Very important yun na sensitive tayo na hindi tayo makapag-cross ng line and makapag-discriminate ng other genders, but also to capacitate ourselves with the knowledge, di ba, ng differences and variation ng gender. Kasi very wide ang spectrum ng gender. And aside from that, to be a catalyst na din, di ba? I mean, by using this platform to inform others then by sharing the knowledge to other person. Nice. Gusto ko yan. Okay, so let's go to our discussion na. So, SOGIESC stands for Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity, Gender Expression, and Sex Characteristics. So, apat tong magkakaibang kategorya pero interrelated sila sa isa't isa. Okay? SOGIE and SC. So in talking about SOGIESC, may mga keywords tayong dapat keep in mind. One, attraction, identity, and expression. Attraction basically talks about kung kanino ka nahuhumaling, kanino ka nagkakagusto. Okay? And identity, pagkakakilala mo sa sarili mo, how you identify yourself. Next is yung expression, how you express yourself to the whole wide world. Okay? And talking about SOGIESC, we usually use the illustration gender bread, gender Lego. Ayan. So, pero yung favorite ko yung gender unicorn. Okay. So, makikita natin yung expression nakaturo siya sa buong katawan, identity sa utak, and orientation sa puso. And very important din natin na pag-usapan yung biological sex. Okay? Tingin nyo, si sex and gender parehas ba or magkaiba?
Sorry po.
Si sex ba at gender, tingin nyo magkaiba or iisa lang silang dalawa?
I think iisa po para sa akin.
Okay. Bakit? Tingin mo bakit iisa lang sila?
I think kasi po ang sex po kung ano yung you are born with, and kung yung gender po is how you identify yourself po.
True. How about others? Same lang din ba yung understanding?
I think po ako po sa magkaiba po siya kasi yun yung na sabi po sa akin dati na sex is dun po sa part ng tao or dun sa hormones na nilalabas niya. For example, sa lalaki is testosterone, so malaki muscles, merong ari ng panlalaki, ganun. Tapos po pag sa gender naman po, it is what you think of yourself. Are you a female or are you a male po? Yun yung pagkasabi sa akin.
Okay, cool. How about others? Thank you, Reg. Henry?
Same lang po ng kay Reg.
Okay. Sige. So actually, sex and gender are two different things. So sex basically is a term for the composition of a person based on chromosomal, which is na-discussed, and hormonal, anatomical, which is na-discussed ni Reg kanina. And usually, sex is predetermined by other person. Ito yung pag pinanganak tayo. It is usually identified by our doctor or in some cases, yung midwife kapag pinanganak tayo. Pag lumabas tayo, sinapupunin ng nanay natin. Okay? So, accustomed tayo in our society na dalawa lang ang sex na mayroon tayo, however, male and female. However, there is actually another term which is called intersex. So, yeah, si intersex ay yung mga taong pinanganak na ang characteristic niya ay either male or female at the same time, partially male or female, or neither male and female. Okay, so ang old term nito before was hermaphrodite. However, yung term na yon is appropriate for animals, and intersex is more politically correct term for humans. So ito yung minsan pinapanganak na merong, in some cases, pinapanganak na merong female, example lang, female genitalia, then after puberty, lumalabas yung male sex characteristics niya. So yun yung tinatawag na intersex. So there are cases actually here in the Philippines na recorded na intersex people. And it is very important din na malaman natin na mayroong ganitong variations in terms of sex. Okay? So kung ang sex is predetermined by other person, gender naman is self-identified. Dito din papasok yung gender roles in our society na ina-attribute natin in a person, in male and female. On the other hand, on a personal level, ito naman yung basically yung how you identify yourself through the establishment of SOGIESC through time. Okay? So kung ang sex ay determined by other person, gender is self-identified. Okay? Clear?
Clear.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to sexual orientation. Basically, ito yung attraction mo towards other person. Keyword for this is attraction. So the usual na dinadiscuss natin is itong 5. Heterosexual, homo, bi, pan, and asexual. Na-encounter na ba natin tong terms na to before?
Yes
Okay.
po.
Yes po.
Pag sinabi mong heterosexual, ano yung tingin mong ibig sabihin nun?
Straight. Straight people and
okay.
hetero.
Hetero. How about homo? Homosexual. Reg?
dun po sa pag na-attract ka or I mean kung gay or lesbian po.
Okay, good. How about pansexual? Bench?
For me, sa pagkakaintindi ko, pag pansexual, either male or female or group of people or not specifically. Am I right ba?
Okay, later on. Titingnan natin kung tama yung sagot natin. How about asexual? John?
Asexual, feeling ko yung pang sarili lang, I guess. Sorry.
It's okay. Don't
So,
be
yan.
sorry. Okay. And last, may isa pa palang hindi tayo nag-discuss. Yung bisexual naman. Yan. Na-cover na ata natin. Anyways, so let's move on. Heterosexual are those people who are attracted to opposite sex. So a male is attracted to female, female is attracted to male. Okay, the keyword for this is opposite. Clear? Next naman is homosexual. Homosexual are those people who are attracted to one own gender. A male attracted to male, female attracted to female. Okay, so in the acronym LGBTQIA, the LNG, katulad ng sabi ni Reg, lesbian and gay is under the homosexual category. Okay? Bi naman or bisexual are those people who are attracted to one own gender and the people of other gender. Okay? So, sa society natin ngayon, dito sa Pilipinas, meron pa rin tayong notion na ang bi ay hindi totoo. Yung tinatawag na bi erasure na ano lang daw yan, mga gay na pinapang front lang ang mga babae para mas masculine looking. So may mga ganong mga chika tayo sa ating society. Pero sa totoong buhay, meron naman talagang mga taong nagkakagusto with one own gender and other gender. Diba? So, and that's okay. So, it's very important na aware tayo on these terms. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay.
Yes po.
Next naman is pansexual. These are people who are attracted to all types of people, regardless of presentation. Kung ang bi ay own gender and people of the other gender, pan naman is all. Keyword for this is all. Clear?
Yes.
So, under the, may isa din concept na kapag merong nila-left out, so for example, ang pan kasi all, diba? There are people naman na who are attracted to multiple types of person naman. Ito yung tinatawag na polysexual. Baka na-encounter niyo na yung term na to before. Okay, so may difference with pan and poly. So poly kasi the prefix, poly means multiple, diba? Okay. Next is asexual. These people are not interested to have a sexual attraction. However, very capable to have a romantic attraction. So magkaiba kasi yan, di ba? So parang ako, I self-identify as an asexual. So hindi ako nagkakaroon ng sexual attraction. Pero I can have a romantic attraction towards other person. So yun yan. Okay, clear?
Clear.
Sige, balik tayo. Ano yung keyword for heterosexual?
Opposite.
Opposite.
Okay,
Opposite.
cool. How about pansexual?
All.
Multiple. Or
Asexual?
Self.
Actually, none yung ano niya. No?
None.
Nanap nyo, no? None yung keyword for that. And homosexual? What's the keyword for homosexual?
ay, same.
Same. Very good.
Same.
Okay, cool. So, alalahanin lang natin ang sexual orientation ay towards other person. Next naman would be the gender identity. Basically, how you identify yourself. So, cis, trans, and gender queer. So, let's go with cisgender. Basically, these people are those who correspond with their sex assigned at birth. So, who identify with their sex assigned at birth. So, kung pinanganak kang lalaki, and after some time, you still identify as a guy. That's what we call cisgender man, vice versa, cisgender woman. Here. So, however, hindi ganun lagi ang cases. So, there are people who do not correspond with their sex assigned birth. So, for example, me, I was born male. However, through time, after puberty, I identify myself as a woman. Okay. So kung makikita mo doon, merong jump from male to female. So um, the correct term for that is transgender. Okay. So dahil merong distress and from yung gender expression, yung presentation mo outside from male to female, may hindi pagkakatugma doon, nagkakause to ng distress to that person. That's what we call gender dysphoria. Or ang mas appropriate na term ngayon na, mas updated is yung gender incongruence. Kasi makikita mo yung incongruence with the outside presentation with that inner identification, diba? And to alleviate that distress, meron tayong ginagawa na transitioning, basically. So dito papasok yung psychosocial, wherein we change our gender expression, we identify na as a woman, change our name, pronouns. We tell our inner circles that we actually identify as trans. So, ayun. Next naman, there are, in some cases, there are trans people who opt na magkaroon or mag-undergo ng medical transitioning. Dito na papasok yung pag-take ng hormones, gender-affirming hormone treatment, gender-affirming surgery, feminizing and masculinizing surgeries to elevate and also para ma-align yung gender expression. And last would be the legal aspect, which is sad to say na hindi pa siya available here in the Philippines. Okay? So yun yung mga pinagdadaanan ng mga ating mga kapatid na trans. So, I want to focus then na hindi ang mga trans people ay hindi cross-dressers, okay? Kasi usually ang mga trans ay nag-represent ng gender expression with the identity they identify with. So for example, ako, I identify as a trans woman. So basically, my gender expression is feminine. So walang pagko-cross doon. So usually the cross-dressers are done by entertainers for work. Pero at the end of the day, bumabalik pa rin sila sa kanilang sex assigned birth. Yun pa rin ang identification nila. Okay? So, there are drag queens and kings na trans. However, hindi lahat. Okay? So, yun yung difference doon. So, next naman, let's jump to the gender queer. Kung kanina, cisgender and transgender ay naka-subscribe to the gender binary male and female, genderqueer naman is an umbrella term for those who do not subscribe to the gender binary. So under these are people who either identify as male and female, both identify as male and female, or neither identify as male and female. So, papasok si genderqueer, gender non-conforming, gender non-binary, mga ganun po. And it's very important to address them and to understand then na mayroong ganong people na nag-identify so that we can further establish yung tamang pagkilala sa kanila and the proper pronouns to use when you encounter a person like them. Okay? So kung balik tayo, sexual orientation towards attraction towards other person, gender identity, your inner identity, expression, how you present yourself to the whole wide world. So basically, this involves yung mannerisms, how you speak, clothing, hairstyle, and makeup. Okay? So basically, masculine, feminine, and androgynous. So masculine and feminine is self-explanatory naman, diba? And androgyny is the combination of masculinity and femininity. Okay, cool? Okay, so medyo mabilis tayong hapon na to, ha? So you can use this gender bread, gender Lego, gender unicorn as na illustration, maybe to assess yourself kung ano yung, kung saan ka nabibilang, diba? Kung how you identify yourself. Can use this para can use this then kapag meron kang friends na medyo hindi pa clear to further educate them. Okay, so bakit pa natin paano natin to i-relate in our life? So I usually connect it with my favorite, Eric Erickson's Stages of Psychosocial Development. Sabi ni Eric, close ni Eric Erickson. And number 5, yung sa identity and role confusion na face in our life, usually in napagdadaan na natin to during our puberty and 12 to 18 years old, doon natin ina-affirm yung ating SOGIESC. Dito natin napagdadaanan, lahat tayo dumadaan sa parang questioning phase. Kung tinatanong natin sarili natin kung kanino tayo na-attract, kung kanino tayo nagkakagusto, anong gusto natin sa buhay. So under na to yung establishment ng SOGIESC. However, in gender and sexuality, hindi lang siya during those times. Okay? It can happen in multiple times of our life. Kaya kung makikita tayo na from one gender, after some time, yung friend natin, nag-transition to another gender. And that's okay. Diba? Doon natin makikita ang fluidity ng gender. Hindi siya, porket ganito ka na, pwedeng with some concepts and factors, pwede siya mag-change through time. Okay. So bakit ba natin importante na malaman to? May ibang nagsasabi na ang daming categories, masyado natin binabox ang isa't isa. Hindi ba na to masyadong discriminating towards other person? So in my opinion, it's very important na malaman natin ang pagkakaiba-iba, variations ng gender. Kasi gender is a spectrum and it's very important to understand one another para we know how to properly address. And malaman din natin ang mga pinagdadaanan ng isa't isa para natulungan natin ang isa't isa. Kasi here in our society, we live in a heteronormative society wherein hetero people think that in our society, ang pagkakaintindi na hetero lang ang tama at ang ibang mga gender ay minority of hetero people. Which is dapat hindi gano'n. Dapat pantay-pantay ang pagkakilala natin sa isa't isa. Kasi dahil nga sa pinag-usapan natin kaninang SOGIESC, everyone, lahat ng tao ay may SOGIESC. Okay? And ito yung napag-usapan natin kanina, ito yung mga terms na discuss natin. And I want you to understand, I want you to open your mind that hindi siya, gender is not a linear thing. There are a lot of combination that can happen. And that is okay. Okay, so pwede kang maging cisgender man na attracted to opposite sex, heterosexual, pero androgynous ang iyong gender expression. May mga cases na trans woman na nagkakagusto sa babae at feminine ang gender expression. May mga trans man na nagkakagusto sa lalaki pero masculine ang gender expression. Alam mo yon? So wag natin isarado ang utak natin. Dapat na ganito lang dapat ang mga gender, ganito ang asal at gawi. So hindi ganon. There are a lot of combinations. And that is okay. So always remember that a person's SOGIE can only be determined by that person alone. Ikaw lang ang pwede magsabi ng SOGIE mo, wala nang iba. Okay? Walang ibang pwedeng magdikta nun, kundi ikaw. Next is, gender is fluid. Can change from time to time, and that is okay. Very fluid siya is a spectrum as well. And what we need siguro is to further establish the respect towards each and everyone. Basically, yun lang naman eh. I mean, we may identify differently from other person, pero that doesn't mean na hindi natin dapat sila i-acknowledge. We need to respect each and everyone. And basically, don't judge. Do not assume one's gender based on the gender expression, di ba? Mas importante na be sensitive enough, especially in salutations na tatawag mo sa kanila. Kung hindi ka talaga sure, maybe it's proper to create and formulate your sentence in a gender-neutral manner para remove na lang natin yung miss or mister para kung hindi tayo sure, di ba? And last is, if in doubt, mas maganda na magtanong. Sabi nga ni Susan Roses, di ba? Huwag mahihiyang magtanong. So it's better to ask that person what's his or her SOGIESC para hindi tayo discriminate ng other person. Yun lamang po. And thank you so much. Questions po? Any questions in mind or may mga hindi ba clear sa atin na konsepto?
Wala naman po, Miss. I think,
Gory.
I think po sa trans po kasi as a writer ng series po, we are going to tackle more on trans right, tapos yung yung struggle po ng transitioning from a man to a woman. Is it okay to share those private
Stage.
struggle or stage po ng isang trans? Yung ayun po, yung private struggle nila with transitioning po.
Yeah,
Or-
definitely. Yeah, for me, I think it's high time na din na malaman ng Pilipino, basically, yung pinagdadaanan ng isang trans. Hindi, kasi merong misconception in our society na dapat ang isang trans ay may mga pamantayan. Dapat beauty queen looking agad before ka ma-consider as trans. Mga ganong tipo, di ba? Dapat may certain image na agad sa society na dapat ganito ka bago ka identify as trans. Pero hindi ganun eh. It starts with self-identification na you're actually not corresponding with your own gender. And it's a journey. Yung transitioning phase ng isang trans is a journey na dapat din maintindihan ng mga tao na may mga trans na nag-undergo ng medical transitioning. There are trans naman na who do not want to undergo such thing. Diba? Kasi comfortable na with the gender expression, very androgynous, o kaya there are health repercussions and other comorbidities na doesn't allow that trans person na mag-undergo ng medical transitioning. And that is okay. Hindi yun kabawasan ng pagiging trans. So, ayun. So, I think it's okay din naman. But to frame it in a sensitive manner na hindi naman din siya makaka-downgrade ng experience of a trans.
Yes po. Thank you po, Ms. Yan.
Thank you, Rini. How about others?
Ako, for me, clear naman lahat. Kasi dapat yung i-ask ko na question if kailangan ba yung gender expression, iba rin ba siya sa gender identity? Yun pala, pwede pala siya ng combination pala. So, yun. Nasagot din ba siya on the latter part po? So,
so di ba, may mga ibang tao kasi parang pwede siyang combination ng iba't ibang aspeto din in those categories, di ba? May ibang, kapag kunwari nakakita na cisgender man, tapos heterosexual, tapos very androgynous, medyo malamya magsalita, in-stereotype na ay, bakla siguro to, hindi ka pa nag-out, ipupush to out. So,
yeah.
Very important na alam natin yung differences. Kasi it is okay na iba-iba. It doesn't mean, kunwari, feminine ang gender expression mo, it will be attributed na with your gender identity. So, hindi yan magkakaparehas, magkakaiba silang konsepto.
Okay.
Okay. For me naman po, Miss Yan, narinig niyo po ba ako?
Yeah. Go, Bench.
Ayan. So, may mga bago akong natutunan actually. Tsaka lalo na yung pinipilit natin yung tao na i-out yung sarili nila based dun sa observation natin, which is nangyayari talaga siya especially in our community. Maganda talaga siguro na irespeto talaga yung mga tao na kung ano yung sila, kung ano yung nararamdaman nila, hindi dahil kung ano yung nakikita natin at kung paano natin sila i-classify. So, example for the bisexual people, actually kahit naman hanggang ngayon, ganun talaga siya na kapag sinabing bisexual, it's just an escape for someone na talaga maging, di ba? Pero at least ngayon, mas malawak na siya. And yun nga po, isa pang kung natutunan is yung pagiging mas fluid ng gender. Kasi kung lalo na ngayon, lahat tayo nahuhook sa BL series. Pero technically, hindi pa talaga natin, wala pang masyadong mga information kasi kung bakit that's about the romance itself, di ba? So at least ngayon, mas naintindihan na gender fluid talaga time to time. Hindi siya sa ganong age, may nakilala kang tao at nagustuhan mo yung tao, hindi mo natitignan yung gender and hindi mo dapat tignan yung kumbaga yung mga sasabihin ng tao sa paligid mo kung paano sila nasanay sa'yo kung ano ka. So, at sobrang dami kong natutunan actually.
Thank you. Very important. Gusto ko yung na-discuss mo yung putting people out of the closet forcibly. So, very important na hindi natin fino-force ang other person to out themselves. Kasi sometimes it can do more harm than doing good to that person. Kasi di ba, there are different factors that hindering a person kung bakit, para mag-come out. So, pwede ito papasok yun sa family, religion, and all. So, very important to come out at your own perfect and comfortable time. Diba? So, yeah. Thank you so much, Benj. How about others? Other questions, realizations? Let's start with, how about you, Ollie?
For me, mas nakilala ko po yung sarili ko as trans. Kasi ang nangyari niyan sobrang mag-explain lang ako about dun sa kung anong naranasan ko before. Nung 2018 kasi, yun yung time na nagde-decide ako kung magta-transition ako as yung sa medical, yung magte-take ng pills, ganun. Kaya late ang transition ko noong 2019. Tapos, kasi ang expression ko po kasi, kumbaga yung identity ko po kasi sa sarili ko is babae. So, I considered myself as trans. Tapos, yung the way I express po kasi is either feminine, masculine, or androgynous po. It depende po kung ano po yung gusto kong i-express, ganun. Sa attraction naman, I'm more on sa masculinity. Doon po talaga ako So, hindi ko po alam kung it's either sa trans man, pwede rin, ganun. Kasi nakikita ko siya as lalaki.
Sure.
Ganun.
Ganda no, may realization na ako din, before, ganyan din yung experience ko wherein dapat may mga pamantayan. Dapat ganito ka, pagdaanan mo yung ganito, dapat mag-take ka ng ganito, yung mga ganong tipo. However, after yung journey ko, dun ko na-realize na it's better to focus on yourself, on your happiness. Katulad nga sinasabi, in our organization, you need to further establish first yourself first. And you need to love yourself first. Before, kasi mag-radiate yon towards other person. Instead of attributing your happiness sa sasabihin ng ibang tao. So, mga ganun. So, it's better to be comfortable first with your own self in transitioning. Yun yung key takeaway ko in my journey. At hindi kabawasan ng pagiging trans kapag hindi mo na igagawa yung mga ganitong mga bagay na pinagdadaanan ng iba. So kasi may kanya-kanya tayong journey in life and walang parehas na journey.
Saka dagdag ko lang po kasi, 'di ba sa society kasi natin is more on nagfo-focus dun sa pag-construct ng gender identity, ganun. Kaya minsan maraming takot sumubok kung ano ba talaga yung gusto nila. Ganun. Saka naalala ko lang yung namin sa theory about sa symbolic interaction. Kasi nagkakaroon kasi ng kunwari, for example, ang kapag trans is dapat natanggal na yung male genitalia mo, ganun. So, kailangan dapat maging babae ka, kailangan hubog na hubog, ganun. Tapos, ko lang na, hindi pala dapat ganun. Kumbaga kasi kung ano yung na-construct sa society natin, yun yung naging symbol na nila eh. Tapos yung sa symbol na yun, naging practice na nila na yun yung nadikta sa utak nila. Kaya nagkakaroon ng conflict. Yun po.
Totoo. That is why it's high time to further educate everyone. And thank you so much sa inyong lahat kasi this is actually a perfect avenue na palitan na natin and tanggalin na natin yung ganong mindset not only in trans but also with other genders as well. Diba? Na boxing one's gender na mga ganitong classifications. Hindi.
May question ako, yan. Ito question ko na to represent my identity but also other genders and all. If you have a friend, yan may kaibigan ka na nagkakaroon ng self-discovery, paano ka magiging sensible sa kanya or kung paano mo i-approach yung kaibigan mo? Doon na lang ako tatabi sa friend. Kaya if I have a friend na nagkakaroon siya ng self-discovery sa sarili niya, as a friend or as a part of the community, paano ba ang tamang approach? Kasi ako, alam ko sa sarili ko na meron akong mga hindi magandang approach sa mga friends ko na nagkakaroon sila ng self-discovery kasi nga based dun sa nakalakihan ko, sa society na nakikita ko habang lumalaki ako. I myself also did some of mga hindi magandang gawin noon na parang pinupush ko yung isang tao na ganito siya kahit hindi naman siya ganito dahil ako confident ako sa sarili ko. Pero ngayon, since ganito na siya mismo yung makaka-cover at siya lang po ang may karapatang maka-identify ng SOGIESC niya. So, as a friend, paano po kayo magiging sensible? Paano po kaya tayo magiging responsible or paano natin siya i-approach kung alam nagkakaroon siya ng ganung problema?
Thank you so much, Benj. Alam mo, ganda yung ganyan. Sana lahat ng friends, ganyan, di ba? That, you care, basically, ang ganda nun kasi it only shows na you care for your friend kasi you want your friend to further establish the SOGIESC. Anyways, so going back, I think for me the best way for that is to ask the person kung, na-encounter mo na ba tong terms na to, yung SOGIESC? Gusto mo i-discuss ko sa iyo, mga ganong tipo. It's better na to give out the information and capacitate that person first with that information. Tapos after nun, tingnan mo tong illustration na to, yung gender bread. Sige, tingin mo saan ka nabibilang sa mga category na to. So let the person realize instead of ikaw mismo ang magsabi na baka gay ka, baka bi ka, ganyan. It's better for them to self-actually realize kung ano yung identification nila. Kumbaga, your role is to establish lang the information and tagapagpadaloy nung questions and information for them to actually realize their own gender. Perfect yan. Bongga yan, Bench. Okay, how about you, Reg? Any question?
Ano lang po, na-realize ko lang din na ngayon lang actually, na may ganun pa pala na, tatlo pa pala na aspect kung paano mo titignan yung sarili mo. It's not only because kung may gusto ka sa ganitong gender, ito na pala yung mo, yun pala kasama pa rin yung way of actions mo, kasama pa pala yung behavior mo, and kasama pa pala yung mindset mo dun sa kung paano mo sasabihin kung ano yung pagkatao mo. Yun, ganun po. Yung na-realize ko ngayon lang.
Ito, it's nice na meron tayong realization this afternoon. And let this be a challenge to the cast then as well na syempre with this platform will be encountering a lot of people. And siguro the challenge for everyone na to further read more about other concepts as well, kasi these are the basics. However, there are wide variety of gender because gender is a spectrum. And para para din makapacitate natin sarili natin to further understand each and every one. Diba? Any other insights, question?
Siguro po sa akin, na-realize ko po na mas nagkaroon po ako ng drive to really to really represent po the trans community kasi po conceptualizing the story po, me and Sir Bench thought on may race of BL and yet may least representation and trans sa ganun platform. Parang nararamdaman po namin na parang walang masyadong representation ng trans. So, naisip po namin na i-include sila at gusto kong gawing platform na to really tell a story na may they exist, na ganito yung pinagdadaanan nila, na hindi na ng isang snap ng finger naging babae na sila. May mga times na sobrang low sila and kailangan talaga nila ng family support, like support system or love to really push through kung anong pinaglalaban nila sa buhay. Parang ganun. So, thank you, Miss Tian, for those realization po ngayong hapon.
Thank you. Thank you then for including us in this platform. I mean, it's makita natin in the society ngayon, sobrang onte ng representation ng trans. And I think it's 2020 na, 2021 na nga. It's high time na to further talk about these concepts na din as well. So thank you so much for including trans then and also highlighting other genders as well. And to have the initiative to undergo SOGIE 101 to further capacitate yourself and be sensitive more. Diba? So, congratulations sa inyo. Maraming salamat for opening your mind and sharing your time ngayong hapon na ito.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you so much sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon. Thank you so much sa ng Got Chu Fam. You may follow them in their social media accounts and social media platforms. And thank you so much sa pag-join sa atin sa hapon na ito. And see you on the next Love Yourself TV. Bye.
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 Thank
you.
Bye.
Thank you.